BTB listeners, thank you so much for checking out today's episode. Listen, if this episode inspires you, do me a favor and take 5 seconds to shoot me a like and subscribe to the podcast. There are several more exciting guests that are in the pipeline, and I just can't thank you enough for your continued support, and let's keep paying the mission forward. This isn't just a comeback story. This is a battle cry. When I stepped back into the arena of a tennis court after 6 years, losing and getting hurt, my foot's blowing up the size of a cantaloupe, pain does not stop the purpose that I have. For you as the listener, you don't rise by staying comfortable. It's the discomfort. It's how uncomfortable you're willing to get. I teach it every single time because life is short. You rise by stepping back into the trenches, by trying to overcome, by facing your self-doubt. Even when sometimes your pain feels like it breaks you, I want you to remember that you're not done, because your next breakthrough is on the other side of what you're willing to endure. What are you built to be? What are you built to become? The time is now. The time is right now. You weren't built to break. You were built to be something greater. Welcome to Season 2 of the BTB Project. I'm your host, Kollman Gearhart. I was the overweight kid, the one counted out, lost 100 pounds, found purpose in the pain, and turned my setbacks into a story worth telling. This podcast isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about identity, discipline, and comebacks. Getting up one more time and becoming who we're always meant to be. If you're ready to go deep, do the work, and live out what you're built to be, you're in the right place. Let's lock in, let's rise, and let's get to work. What if things don't go as planned? In today's BTB short, I'm going to take you on a journey where we go beyond the surface, beyond the setbacks and beyond our comfort zone to become what we're truly built to be. And let me start by saying this. This episode was one that I thought I wouldn't be recording. If you listen to the comeback, embracing competition again, in my last episode, you knew that I made a choice to return to competitive tennis. And this was for the first time playing a competitive singles match in 6 years. I did my best to train. I went into this tournament kind of on a whim, really with the purpose of getting out of my comfort zone and trying to push myself and get excited again about competing. Now, just a few years prior, I had been playing competitive doubles, but for all of the tennis enthusiasts on the podcast, we all know the difference between singles and doubles. And at 41 years old, I knew I was taking a little bit of a risk getting back out there, but I did my best to prepare. Been spending a lot of time over the last few years focusing on my weight, on my inflammation, putting in a lot of miles, jogging, maybe not as much time with the multilateral movements that tennis requires, but I wanted to make sure I painted that picture because I wanted to get back into that singles arena again to see what I'm made of, to be honest with myself of what am I capable of doing moving forward? And that's what's such an interesting aspect about tennis, is that it can tell us through a sport where we're at mentally, physically, psychologically. Are we able to solve problems out there? Are we able to overcome? On this particular day, it was pretty hot. But here's the update. I ended up losing in the first round of the tournament that I enrolled in. And not only did I lose in the first round, my serve got broken 3 times in the first set, which probably hasn't happened in the last 15 years. My serve is my biggest weapon of my game. But I also ended up blowing up my right foot in the process. It's been swollen. It's been throbbing. It has been a little over 2 weeks. And at the time of recording, my foot is still hurting today. And maybe my pride took a little bit of a hit too. But ultimately, I want to pause on that for a sec, because I know many of you who are listening are walking through something right now that didn't go to plan. Whether it's a relationship that ended, a job that you didn't get, a business deal that fell through, or like me, a dream of returning that didn't look the way that you hoped. The result doesn't define the comeback. It's how you respond to the result that does. I could have stayed down. I could have used this injury as a reason to quit again. Have mentioned many times the responsibilities that I have outside of competing. And those are all valid things where I need to be spending time in my life. But ultimately, in some cases, they can be excuses. Because this moment that I had with flaring up my foot, it's not failure, even though it felt like failure. It's actually part of something that is refining in my goal setting and opportunities. And I want to make sure that I'm not retreating from that. Have you ever felt that way? I mean, in 2025, everyone's highlight reel is right in your face. You can go on Instagram, you can check out TikTok or Threads, and you see the wins, you see the peaks, you see the polished version of everyone's success. But what's often missing? You don't see people limping around. You don't see the bruises. You don't see the why me moments behind the scenes. And I want to be someone who shows you that side, because that's where people actually grow, is in the pain, in the difficult circumstances. I think back when I look at the podcast episodes or the interviews that I had, I can sometimes be stoic or like I'm an industry expert when it comes to people becoming the strongest version of themselves. I've had a lot of experience finding ways to not give up, no matter how difficult the circumstances may be. I'm not going to pretend that trying to come back and this foot injury didn't hurt. To be completely honest, the last 2 weeks have been, in some cases, a living hell. My foot is actually a reoccurring issue that I've had over the last 10 years, where the nerves in my feet will become mad or angry. Haven't been able to figure out a right answer to why, but the best way I can describe it is my foot will swell. If I try to walk on it, it will swell even more. When I walk on it, it's tremendous pain because all of that pressure and inflammation is pushing on the respective nerve or tendon that's not happy. And it's debilitating. The inflammation only seems to calm down when I raise my foot above my heart. The inflammation only calms down when I'm taking a ibuprofen or an anti-inflammatory. In some cases, steroid injections. In some cases, 5-day anti-inflammatory oral medication. That's not how I want this thing to calm down. But ultimately, when you're in chronic pain, and for those of you who are listening who have either been in chronic pain or know someone in chronic pain, man, I tip my hat to you. Because even though I had expectations to come back and have a pretty good showing at this tournament, had a lot of momentum mentally, when I hurt my foot, it immediately makes me go back into a lot of the insecurities and self-doubt I've felt my entire life. And I think that's the human element that I want you to understand as a listener. Like, I had expectations, I had momentum, and I had this whisper in my head saying, why'd you even try? You were out of the game for so long. You have stayed comfortable. But here's what I've learned through all of this. The courage was in stepping into the arena, not in dominating. The growth happened before the match even began. As much as I was creating those mental wins, those moments of encouragement in my mind, I was building myself to be able to overcome another setback like my foot. The footprint that I had in this tournament, no pun intended, maybe this was the price of re-entry into the arena, into pushing myself to become the strongest version that I can be. I can go jog for days. I log over 700 miles a year running, but tennis is a multi-directional sport. It's a whole different ball game. And maybe this is my body saying, hey, congratulations on being consistent in some aspects of your life, but now you need to be consistent in others. Have you ever felt like that? Sometimes pain is the tuition on our path to progress. I try to help people overcome setbacks, but me overcoming my own setbacks is an educational crash course that I don't wish upon anybody, but it's necessary for growth. We live in a world today that is just obsessed with outcomes. What's my ranking? What are my metrics? And ultimately, that culture can be toxic. So as I'm thinking about getting back into this and the setback that I have, did I have the motive of like wanting to be ranked again or wanting to win a tournament again, having a result-oriented outcome? The more I think about it, the answer is no. But this is what we really need more of today, is people who are trying again after failing, people who don't quit when they're embarrassed, people who are okay saying that didn't go well, but I'm still here. We need more of that authenticity. The strongest people that I've ever met in my life, or when I walk into a meeting and the strongest people in the room, isn't the one that's always winning. It's the one that's willing to try again without someone applauding, without someone tipping their hat. So for you as the listener, this message is for anybody who's been knocked back this year. Maybe you got laid off. Maybe you're struggling financially. Maybe your health took a hit. I have no idea. But you're stepping into a version of the arena and it didn't go the way that you imagined. And it breaks my heart that that's happened for you. But the arena, the comeback, isn't just a one-time entrance. It's a daily decision that I'm going to be the strongest version of myself every single day, to keep showing up, to keep learning, to keep moving, even when you're limping around like I am right now. Your current challenge isn't the training ground for your future calling. It's just a speckle of time in the universe. Through that, while maintaining a positive mindset, you're setting yourself up for doing something even greater as you continue to overcome and put in the reps. My foot still hurts. Doctor's appointment today. Going to try to get to the bottom of how I can continue to push myself with whatever is going on in my body. But my spirit, I couldn't have been more encouraged right now. It took me a little while to get there. But over the time of reflection with my injury, I couldn't be more excited for what's ahead. And I challenge you to do the exact same. It's stronger than it's been in years, my spirit. And I don't regret stepping out. I don't regret the opportunity that I had to go out and compete again. I'm proud of that version of me who tried, who risked looking foolish just to see what I had left. And the truth is, I have a lot left, and so do you. So let me ask you this. What is the version of your arena right now? What are you facing that seems insurmountable? What are you facing that seems to be a challenge? Where have you let comfort keep you from trying again? What would it look like if you take one uncomfortable step this week? You don't need to go win the moment. You need to own the moment. These types of comebacks isn't just about avoiding pain. It's about choosing purpose through it. What are you built to be? What are you built to become? I want to finish with this. The only thing that can stop your story is you. So whatever your foot injury looks like in life, use it. Let it be proof that you're trying, that you're not being complacent, that you're in it, you're present, you're going for it. You're utilizing every heartbeat, every breath of oxygen to go for it. And that, your comeback isn't over when it hits a rut. It's just getting real. Listen, if this BTB short hit home, do me a favor and like and subscribe to the BTB Project. Better yet, send this message to a family member, friend, or colleague and talk about the setback that you just had. Talk about what you're overcoming. Talk about the trenches. Let's continue to infuse social channels with real life situations. Because life, my friends, is a gift. Life is so precious. And every day you have an opportunity to grow and become the strongest version of yourself is a damn good freaking day. As always, I'm proud of each and every one of you. And until next time, take care.